All right, welcome back to another episode of The Scoop Around the Loop. This is a special episode because Daniela Downs is on for the first episode. And we also have Andrew and Tyler, or Andrew Brady, sorry. Tyler's not here. So that's cool that they're here too. Danny, do you want to, for people that haven't watched the episode where I individually interviewed you, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniela Downs. I have been a realtor for over a month now, and I'm originally from Ecuador. I moved here to Iowa around 8 years ago. I came here for college, and then I fell in love with my lovely husband, and I stayed in Iowa. That's pretty much it.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So it's a big day for us because, as Andrew pointed out to me yesterday, it is 515 day. So I thought to celebrate our favorite area code that we could all just go around and kind of give what you would call like an elevator pitch for why someone should move to Central Iowa / Des Moines. Now, who wants to start?
How about the person who moved here from a different country?
Yeah,
Put her on the spot right away.
Yeah, let's
Love that.
give your pitch. Why should someone move to Des Moines?
Why Iowa of all places?
Honestly, Des Moines is one of the best kept secrets in the entire state. I feel like I had before I moved in here, I had no idea of like Iowa, how was the lifestyle. I didn't know much about it. I just knew a lot about like other cities, like the main cities, New York, California, Florida, main states. Um, but honestly, Iowa, it's super safe, super family friendly. The career growth in Iowa, it's growing like crazy. There is a lot of development going on. And there's a lot of things to do. I know a lot of people say there is not a lot of things to do, but honestly, if you look for something to do, you're going to find something to do. So I just love it.
It's very well said. If you look for something to do, you'll find something to do. We were downtown last week for my son's prom. That's where they were at, and we were following all the kids because we're doing photos. And I'm just like, man, there's just so much going on. I don't get downtown very much on the weekends. I'm not a crowd person, so and it's just there's stuff all over the place. I think one thing I saw, I think Reagan made a shirt that said Iowa nice-ish, and I don't agree with that. We are Iowa nice to the bone. I've been other places, been to Atlanta specifically, where I'm like, man, why is everybody so short here? Like, not physically short, but like, to the New York, to the point,
Right.
very blunt. And that can hurt my feelings sometimes. But funny story is about 2 years ago, I got a call from somebody. It's a random number, and it said, "Hey, is your name Andrew?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" Um, and you, like, you're at Remax? I go, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, we bought it was like an end table from, I think it was Mini Hands Thrift Market, because we donate a lot of stuff there, and your wallet was in there. Had like your social security, has your social security card, has credit cards in it, and it was obviously a thing that I didn't one drawer I didn't check in this table." And and I said, "Well, there's also like $700 cash in there. Is that still in there?" Yeah, I'm joking, of course, but uh anyway, so she called, like, I don't know of many places that, and maybe I'm painting broad strokes, but that's an example, I think, of how unique Iowa is, but specifically Des Moines. And ironically, they live right by the office, and so went over there, and sure enough, yeah, it was my old wallet, had social security card, credit cards that some of them were expired because it'd been there a while, but some that were still active, and got it back. So that's one example. I could go on for days, but to Daniela's point, it's a secret, but I think the secret's starting to get out because traffic is getting crazy around here. Crazy, I get it. We don't live in Denver, Los Angeles, places like that with really bad traffic, but it is getting worse. So I think this traffic, or the secret's getting out a little bit.
Anything else you would add?
A lot, but I'll let everybody else.
Brady, what's your pitch? Why Des Moines? You're muted.
You're muted. That's why.
I feel like I do this every single time we have a podcast. But kind of like Daniela said, the growth is just crazy. I mean, I have grown up kind of in the Waukee area. And I mean, I remember when there was no Hy-Vee, like none of the restaurants that are here now were there. We have brand new. I went to Waukee Northwest. It's coming up on its 5th year, which kind of sounds crazy, but there's another high school that's planned by 2030. It seems like there's like 17 middle schools. And we're also starting to get like some unique restaurants and just different businesses come in apart from like what you see at small towns where there's like a McDonald's, a Subway. Like we're getting some new stuff, and I think it's people see the growth. And I mean, I would just say get in early. It would be cool to see the rest of it, but yeah. And it also doesn't cost $30 for a smoothie in October. So.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that I think Des Moines kind of hits that sweet spot between it has a big city feel, but you don't get the traffic equal to what you would get in like a Minneapolis or Chicago or Kansas City. I think Des Moines has a really strong job market. Pretty much any type of job that you would be trying to hunt down, you could probably find in Des Moines. And then I think within a 30-minute drive of Des Moines, you can live in any type of situation you want. You can live in a downtown environment. You can live in a really nice suburb, and you can still get to Des Moines 30 minutes from some genuinely like small town type vibes, if that's what you want as well. And as Daniela said, there's plenty of entertainment in the Des Moines area. We have Wells Fargo Arena. So ever since they've added that, they've been getting some really, really big music acts in town. You still have the Iowa State Fair, which puts on great concerts every single year. If you're into country music, there's country artists coming through all the time and stuff like that. And I don't think the local food scene's half bad either. I think it stacks up pretty well to other cities right around the same size, from what I've experienced at least. So that's kind of my 30-second pitch.
I think something that you said too about you can kind of have any type of living situation you want. You can have an acreage, not that far. You can have a lot of acres, within 15 minutes of shopping, and be in the middle of nowhere. We were in Windsor Heights the other day at a house, and it's just like Windsor Heights Windsor Heights is literally in the smack dab middle of the metro, and it feels like it's its own thing. Super mature trees, really nice houses. So you can really have about whatever you want in terms of living. It's affordable. I know people complain about property taxes, but property taxes go to a lot of things that I think help Des Moines stand out. We have great education. We have a lot of roads, paved roads, and just a lot of, all that stuff goes to pay for some. And you don't have to drive an hour to get across town or more. And I think you can get everything you need without having to go somewhere. And it's big enough that you don't know everybody. Not everybody's in your business, but small enough that it's kind of weird. There's always like just a couple levels of separation. They say 6 degrees, but sometimes it's just even a couple, connections away from somebody. So yeah. That's
one of the funny stories about the traffic thing that I always think of. My dad had a childhood friend that he met in college that originally grew up in the Chicago area, and he came to Des Moines way back when to interview at Drake, and came in from the west side, stopped at a gas station, and he was lost, and he's like, I'm trying to get to Drake. Where am I? And the guy was like, well, that's on basically the opposite side of town. And the guy kind of had a panic attack because he's like, oh, it's going to take like an hour to drive over there. And then he's like, no, it's like 10-minute drive. So I know
literally
we get traffic, but if you have ever lived in a Chicago or a Minneapolis or Kansas City, any of those other Midwest cities, it's nothing compared to that.
I worked at AIG back in the day, and I was giving I was in New York. It was kind of surreal. I'm just this like 26-year-old giving presentations to the senior VPs and the president of AIG, and about some new projects and new rules we were working on for adjusting. And I can see the Statue of Liberty like in the background, and I mean, just 40 stories up in the air. It's just crazy. But the president of AIG lived in Jersey, and he said that he gets to the office typically about 7 a.m. every day, but he has to leave his house by about 4:30 to get there on time. So he rides the train for 2.5 hours every day there. Then you got to drive home. And I'm just like, man, we're not wasting away so much of that time with our families and friends and doing the things we're really passionate about because we're sitting in traffic or commuting. And I think that's what's beautiful too. I just said I had just something little to say, but I mean, I can go on for.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think about we always have people that where they work and their commute is really, really important in their home search. And it's just really cool that, like, Andrew, when you were helping me find a place, I told you I just wanted to be within 15 minutes of the mall. And we had so many options for us just within a 15-minute drive of the mall. So it's kind of crazy how fortunate we are with that. That would be a little harder today because traffic is getting a little bit worse, but it's still.
Like my uncle's a realtor in Denver, the Denver area, and Denver has, I think, 2 or 3 MLSs or associations, because you have like the northern part and the southern part. And we're in West Des Moines, so we're, even from Ames, we're, I don't know, 45 minutes away from where we're at in the office. And Ames is obviously, I would say, far away. Not too far, but it's not like you go drink coffee in Ames and you got to plan a little bit. I can't imagine somebody calling, and being in, let's say, an area like Castle Rock, which is kind of in between Denver and Colorado Springs city limits, saying, I want to look at a house in Fort Collins. I mean, that's like depending on what time of day you go, that could take 2 hours to get there, hour and a half maybe. And I just don't know how you can be a realtor in those areas. You kind of really have to be kind of really central and hyper local, whereas we can cover the whole metro from Ames to Winterset to
Knoxville.
Yeah. We've sold stuff in Knoxville. So Perry, Ogden, like some of those places are, we at least have windshield time or farmland we're driving through. And so into Danny's point, it's not like it's ugly to look at. It's beautiful land, and just, I think people think farmland flat, boring. Like, no, that's not. We're not in Nebraska. We're in Iowa. So
if you want mountains, we don't have that, but pretty much everything.
We have them just a little to the west. You can get there in a day.
We do have breakfast food. New Breakfast Club location is opening up in Waukee, so this will be their 4th one. They have one downtown Des Moines, one in Ankeny, one in West Des Moines and West Glen. They're opening this up early 2026. It's going to be kind of close.
We have a new listener, by the way.
We got Zach Downs here.
Yeah.
We have nice hills. Great hills to run up. I mean, Ledges is not that far away, so you can get some hiking in still, but we don't have legitimate.
Just drive down 56th Street in Des Moines. You can see the hills. And there's hills everywhere.
This is going to be opening up pretty close to Vibrant Music Hall. This is an area, just like Brady was saying, in Waukee that is really starting to blow up. I'm kind of excited to see what else is going to come in commercial-wise around here. But I think they picked a great spot to open up here because you think about Vibrant Music Hall and those hotels that are right next to it. You think someone coming into Waukee specifically to go to a concert there, stay in the night, they wake up the next morning before they leave, they have a breakfast spot to go to right before they leave. Have any of you guys been to Breakfast Club? Any of their other locations?
Yes.
I have not, but yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Danny, what did you think of it?
I love it. It's absolutely delicious. They have great coffees.
Yeah,
And
their
the
coffee drinks are amazing.
and overall the vibe of the place is like very, very friendly, like a little bit more like active. The waitress, they are very like, I don't know, friendly, and they ask questions. They want to get to know you before serving breakfast to you. They are just like part of the table in a way. So it's a fun location. Yeah.
Yeah. Brady, have you been there?
I haven't. I'm not a super big breakfast guy, but I'll have to try it out when it comes. I think that's getting into our next thing, right?
Yep. The next thing I was gonna ask is, what's everyone's favorite breakfast spot?
I will say though, my girlfriend just got back from college and we went to Homegrown.
It's really good, right?
Really good. It was really
Yeah.
good. I got like the salsa verde pork and egg or something like that, and it was really good.
Homegrown was one I was gonna mention because I think they've had the best bacon of any local breakfast spot that I have been to. And then I was also going to shout out Eggs and Jam because it's really, really close to me. And they have some of the best breakfast sandwiches I've ever had. So, and they have some pretty cool cocktails and coffee drinks and stuff like that too. So, Andrew?
Well, I went to Homegrown last week. Tyler and I had a meeting there with some other people about some other stuff that we're excited to
Not ready to talk about yet.
Not ready to talk about, but not related to real estate, basketball related. So, but anyways, we were meeting at Homegrown, and Tyler, said we're going to Homegrown at this time, and I'm almost to the one on Jordan Creek, and realized he's talking about the one by Big Grove, and which I thought was funny that he had wanted to go to Homegrown on Jordan Creek, so that isn't really where Tyler ever wants to go, that side. And so it made sense. It was down on the Ingersoll, but that was really good. I think it had the Iron Man, I think is what it was called. This has nothing to do with the food, but the bathrooms there, like you walk out and there's a long hallway, and you don't realize it's an incline, and so it was the weirdest thing. Like I'm halfway up this ramp and realize I'm on the ramp. I was like, why do my legs feel so heavy? Like it was the trippiest feeling. But there's a place right by us called Perk Up Cafe in Governor Square in West Des Moines, and it's kind of like an old timey type hole in the wall,
like a diner type vibe.
Diner, yeah. And it's really the last time we went, it was a little more expensive than usual, but it was awesome. And then you can't. It's a national chain, but Perkins just hits the spot a lot of times when we go. But I would say Perk Up Cafe is a family favorite of ours.
Actually, I'm going to have Danny go, and then I'm going to say my other shout out because I don't want to take it from her if she's going to mention it.
Thank you. I love Northern Vessel and Homegrown. Those are like my favorite. The thing that I love the most about Homegrown is the fresh squeeze juice.
Mm-hmm.
They literally have like fresh orange juice. Like I love that. That's something that I miss a lot from home. So I'm so happy that I can go there and just have that. Go ahead, Thomas.
If you want that also like old school diner type vibe, it would be a shame if no one mentioned Waveland Cafe too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duh.
That would be a really good spot to go to. Jason Momoa's favorite restaurant in the Des Moines area. He always stops by.
Is that what you were going to say was Waveland?
Yeah, Waveland Cafe. Yeah.
I'll say this. I love eggs. Like my kids think that's like all I eat. Because eggs are low in calories, high in protein. I don't put a lot of stuff. Cottage cheese, if you mix cottage cheese in with them, it's really good too. Instead of milk, if you want it like scrambled. But I'll have like 5 or 6 eggs some mornings, like just straight eggs. And so when I go to restaurants that charge like $7 for scrambled eggs, like that's always hard for me because I'm like, I could have just made that at home for $1. But anyways, I love breakfast food. Like I just wish there was like breakfast buffets all day long, and you didn't have to stay at a restaurant to get a breakfast buffet.
And all of the places we mentioned, except for maybe Perkins, if you like eggs, will use legitimate fresh eggs. They won't use that pre-mixed type stuff. So we gave you good breakfast spot
Yep,
recommendations.
100%.
Brady, I'm going to have you start this off. We got a new townhome listing, very, very close to
Yep.
where all three of you guys are at right now.
Yeah, so new townhome listing, 9556 Crestview Drive. It's actually just right. You can see it back through there, just right behind our office.
It's actually right, like right
There.
here, right over my shoulder.
Yeah, but built in 2021, but it's basically like brand new. The owners took really, really good care of it. They said they were sad to leave. They really liked the place. It was super homey, but it was just kind of that time for them. So it's been on the market. I believe this is the second or third day. So if you're interested, text me and we'll get a show. And
You got an open house this weekend too?
Open house this weekend. It also has a really cool kind of loft area on the second floor. Good to watch football, or I don't know, a little playground for kids or something like that. But yeah, it's really nice. And something also too that I thought was interesting is the master bedroom, which is that picture on the bottom right hand side, is actually a really, really good size, like bigger than some you would see in just a normal single family house. So that was something surprising just walking into it. But yeah, there's just a little scoop. So check it out.
And anecdotally, I mean, I don't know the actual number of days that these owners have lived there. It's a 4-year-old house. This is actually their second home. They live out of state, and so they've probably only stayed there. We estimated like about 100 days. So you're really getting. There's a bunch of these townhomes that have popped up for sale in there. This is the cheapest one.
So
it's probably in the best condition.
It's the car equivalent to a grandma that just drove the car to the grocery store and back.
Yeah, didn't smoke in it.
Yeah.
Didn't have pets.
Danny, did you get a chance to check out this listing and look at it a little bit? Anything stand out to you?
I did. Yes, it looked absolutely amazing. And also, it looks kind of like they staged a little bit, or that's their normal taste, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah. I think you got to highlight the location with this place too. You're kind of in that sweet spot. I mean, you're in West Des Moines, but basically Waukee.
Yeah.
So you're really, really close to your quick drive to Jordan Creek, and then all the stuff that's going on in Waukee too. And
it's a cool little development. It was originally started by CCS Homes, Happy Homes, and Greyhawk, I believe. And Greyhawk since has left town. So it's got 3 different builders in the one HOA. And so you have you can tell where each builder's built their townhomes, but you have a nice collection of 2 stories on slabs, 2 stories with basements, ranches with basements. And so the whole thing doesn't feel cookie cutter. And,
that's what I was going to say. It's kind of an underrated thing to go into a townhome development that you're not driving through, and every single unit looks exactly the same too. So
I believe there's like 5 different styles of homes that they have in there just from those 3 builders. So it's a really cool area.
Cool. All right. Next was kind of a real estate topic that I have pulled up to talk about because I think it's kind of a interesting topic at least. And I want to get your guys' opinions on what you would tell a home seller that's getting ready to sell. And they have a home that the carpet is pretty worn and it definitely is in need of interior paint. And they're kind of having that debate on whether to repaint it themselves, replace the carpet themselves, or to just list it, clean it up as much as possible, and offer a credit if the buyer asks for it. What are your guys' opinions on that topic? Let's start with Brady.
What comes up first is kind of timeline for me. Like if they're able to put in that work for a while, then I would say for sure do it just so you're in the top shape once you're listed. But if it's a situation where they got to get out and they're maybe moving out of state or something and kind of have a deadline, I would just say go with the credit and just make sure that's on the MLS, very heavily advertised that you are offering that credit. But I mean, that's only if that's the timeline. Otherwise, I definitely would say kind of like the pre-listing inspection, just make sure your property is in the top shape before it's listed, so you have the easiest process start to finish.
So in an ideal world, you would say pick your own carpet, pick your own paint, and list it that way because it's going to show better.
That's my initial thought.
Danny, you kind of have the same thoughts?
I agree 100% with Brady. I think if they don't have the time to fix it, they should advertise that they are offering that credit 100%. But if they do have time, I think if they fix it and they choose a nice, timeless color of paint, nice carpet, they might be able to sell it for like a higher price or get even their asking price.
Do you think in the hypothetical situation where someone came in and did that and they picked all of that neutral carpet, all of that neutral paint, and did it all the way throughout, do you think that would be overwhelming for a buyer? Like if they didn't put any sort of taste in it? Or do you think if it's neutral and new, you're fine?
For what I have seen here in Iowa, I don't think anybody will get overwhelmed by something that is neutral. If they want to change it, they're just gonna like change it later on. But no, I don't think anybody will complain that there's a neutral color.
Yeah. Andrew?
Yeah, I was Tommy and I were talking about this a little bit ago, and so you can maybe, if I missed something about what I said, you can remember. But you know, my opinion is if you have time, I would make time if your carpet needs to be replaced to replace it, and to everyone else's point, make it neutral, make it something that buyers don't think, oh, I need to replace that right away. You can try cleaning it. You know, you can try doing that, but you know, if you have pets and stuff like that, that stuff comes out. You know, like that. If you ever peed in the carpet, like it gets into the pad, and so as you clean it, like the smell comes back out. So new carpet also brings new smell, new, you know, kind of a fresh smell into your house. But I was showing house to our Tyler and I's cousins the other day, and the house advertised new carpet, and so like, oh cool, like that's done. But they didn't do one of the front rooms, and it was the room with the dog kennel in it. So you kind of thought, well, is it peed in here? You know, like it wasn't as worn. I don't know what it looked like before, but they did the carpet in the big living room in the back of the house, and then the stairway, and then the hallway upstairs, but not the bedrooms. And it was completely different. All the bedrooms had different color carpet, and so, and my cousin said, cool, but like we don't like the color of the carpet they chose, like they didn't love. Had it all been the same, it probably would have been something that, you know, was fine. But that all they think about is, okay, well now we're gonna have to replace the carpet in the bedrooms to match this, because it was obvious, you know, like the carpet that they put in was dark gray, and all the carpet in the bedrooms was like white. And so in their mind, they're just thinking of all the stuff they got to do now when they move in, because they're like, well, we may as well put new carpet in that we want, you know, through the rest of the area. And so I think, you know, to that point, if you just do it, people aren't thinking about, oh, I wish they would have done, you know, this. They just think it's new. If you do a credit, you know, that creates some issues, because sometimes buyers want it done before they move in, because they might be closing on their house, you know, and so all their stuff's in the U-Haul, and then moving right into this new house. They don't have an opportunity to put the new carpet in. And so that creates hassle for them as well. And so I think if you're a seller and you want your house to sell quickly, just do it up front. Don't mess around with the credit, because then you might even get a situation where a buyer's like, all right, cool, I'll take the credit. And then, you know, but you were offering a credit for a cheap pad and a cheap carpet, and the buyer starts doing that. I'm like, hold on, this isn't even a good deal for me. So you just kind of eliminate, you know, some of that by just getting it done. And will you get a 1-to-1 ROI? Like, will it pay? You know, maybe not. You might, you know, it might cost you $5,000 to do carpet. Maybe you only get $4,000 more in your price. But you know, at the end of the day, like, it's something a buyer doesn't have to think about doing, which can be just a stress relief for everybody. So what do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you would be surprised how much it could change a buyer's opinion of a house if you come in and just put in new carpet and new paint in a house, because like Andrew said, it can make it smell a lot better. It gets rid of a lot of the smells that typically come up in a house that's lived in, which most buyers that are looking at places are used to it. But if they go into one that all of a sudden smells so much fresher than all the other ones, it just really changes your opinion on it. It makes it seem cleaner. It's one less project that they have to do. I think Andrew kind of touched on one point there, though, that's really important, is if you're going to do a project like that, you kind of have to commit to doing it all the way. Like, even if, like, say there's a spare bedroom that no one ever used and that carpet's still in good shape, I would make it match all the way through and replace all of it, because the second you put in new carpet right next to old carpet, it just kind of stands out like a sore thumb. And it makes that older carpet stand out so much more. Whereas in the situation where you're just offering a credit, it's all old and it all still kind of matches. And you might get lucky and find a buyer that doesn't really care. But in most cases, if it's really, really worn and a majority of people that walk through it think it needs new carpet, they're going to ask for the credit anyways. And you run into weird situations where they want it done before you close, and it just kind of creates a whole new hassle. So I kind of completely agree with you guys. It's one of those things. I understand why sellers don't want to do it, because it kind of puts the hassle on you, but you might not get that ROI. And actually with flooring and paint, you normally do get the return on investment, but it definitely will make your home sell quicker, in my opinion.
Well, and my thought on that, is your house needs carpet, or it needs flooring.
Yeah.
It's not worth nearly as much unless it has it. So new carpet doesn't necessarily translate, to a direct ROI, or however, it does make it sellable and sell faster. So, instead of having it sit for a month or two where you've now got 2 or 3 more mortgage payments worked into it, you get it sold, and everybody's happy, and buyers are excited because they're not thinking about all the things that they're going to have to do right away when they move in. So yeah.
Cool. Let's we talked about this last week, but I want to highlight it one more time, because we're really trying to make sure we get a ton of people in this bags tournament. Because me and Brady don't want to just run away with the championship. So Andrew, you want to talk about?
Are you guys a team? Did I miss that?
No, I'm going to be a team with Jen, but it's either Brady or I is winning. So,
you know what I was thinking about? I came across some themes like the NFL music, NFL, and Fox theme. We should do a video at the park next week showing that off before all of you leave town, I guess. Yeah, so Memorial Day, we're grilling out. This is, something that is really free to the public. We wanted to make sure all of our clients knew about it. If you worked with us, plan to work with us, or wish you worked with us, you're invited. And then if you just are at the park that day, grab a hot dog. Green State Credit Union's our title sponsor for this. We have some other businesses, Drake Homes, as well.
Can we announce?
Maybe a local dairy company, might be supplying some stuff.
Can we announce the radio station that's going to be there?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But Matt Baird, musician, recording artist, is going to be there doing live music as well. So we were told that we need like special permits and stuff. And so I told Matt, hey, we're not going to do it. And he goes, I'm already planning on it. Okay, well, we'll just do it then. So we're going to do it.
Can we also talk really quick about just how cool Raccoon River Park is? We were there on Monday, and it's just kind of underrated how much stuff is out there.
Yeah, we did a video where each one of us talked about something, and then I think I wrapped it up and mentioned the 4 or 5 things that we didn't even get to talking about. So, yeah. And just to be clear, this is at the Coneflower Shelters, which is right by, there's bathrooms, and right by the play park or playground, which is brand new. Doesn't have sand or mulch, or you won't have to worry about that. It's all padded. So, I mean, spread out. There's stuff to do. But yeah, my wife and I got married there at the Nature Lodge,
which is on the opposite side of the.
Yeah, so don't go there. Keep going. There's a dog park. I don't know. Guys, hop in. What else?
Dog park. There's
Archery, baseball. Hit a home run on those baseball fields. There's kayak, canoe.
You've hit a home run.
It was inside the park, but it's.
I was gonna say I didn't know if you could get it over the fence. Based on what you've said.
Oh, okay.
Based on what you've told us.
Well, I'll have you know, I did hit a 12U home run on that field. But what else? I mean, there's just everything. There's
a 3-mile
trail.
trail around it.
Yeah.
there's a
beach.
3-mile trail, which is pretty awesome. That's a good amount to run.
Could go swimming in the water. There's a beach. I don't know. I would.
Are you too bougie for that water?
No.
I heard some
But-
hesitation there.
I'm not too bougie for river water, but there's just some river water that you just should stay away from.
Just don't drink it.
There's $100 fine if you're drinking on the beach, by the way. But these coneflower shelters aren't on the beach, so take that for what it's worth.
You can drink in the shelters that we have. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
There's paddle boats you can rent and go out on the what is the word? The lake. The water. That's what I was trying to say.
Cool. I did want to. This has nothing to do with you guys, but I wanted to highlight what I did last weekend because I think it might be the coolest road race that Iowa has. I did the market to market relay this last weekend, which for those of you guys who don't know is a relay race that you sign up with a team of either 6, 8, or 10 people. We had 8 people, and all together we ran 72 miles from Jefferson to downtown Des Moines.
Yeah, so that's what was going on downtown. I couldn't figure out like why everybody had racing bibs on
and looked really, really tired because it took us 12 hours.
So how much did you run? Like how many
I ran
miles?
10 miles. I ran, one of my legs was 5.7 miles, which I don't even really remember what small town I started in. I remember I ended in Linden, Iowa, which I didn't know existed until Saturday. And then I ran, ironically enough, from Windsor Heights by my house to, I'm blanking on what the name of the park is, but that park like in South of Grand that has the pool. Is it Ashby or Ashworth Park?
Ashworth Park, I think.
Ashworth Park, yeah. And that's where I ended. That was my 4.3 mile run.
And then you get on the trail right there and get to Raccoon or go downtown from there.
Yeah.
Grace
Just really
Lake.
cool, really cool race. They had a fun little party in the morning in Jefferson, Iowa, and then when you ended in Des Moines, they had a cool like beer garden set up with like food trucks and everything like that. I highly recommend getting a group of you and 7 of your friends, or if you're really, really lazy, 9 of your friends, and run that race.
I will say too, like being in a race, like running with people, like when you say I ran 5 miles, people are like, oof, but like when you have all that adrenaline, you have other people doing it with you. It's actually pretty fun. Like I ran dam to dam a few times and you don't really get tired until it kind of really starts to thin out towards the end. But it's cool to run with other people. Speaking of that trail though, going back to why Des Moines, that trail, you can go all the way to Grays Lake and go downtown to, Principal Park. And that goes all the way out to Dallas Center. Like there's Greenbelt and there's trails everywhere through West Des Moines and the suburbs and stuff. But, like there's so many opportunities to get good exercise, to see nature, and to really, there's always people. I did see a coyote going to Dallas Center, like it was harassing people on the trail. But other than that, it's safe. There's a stray goose every once in a while, but I've seen deer on the trail. I've seen fox run across the trail. So it's
even the trails that run through Des Moines, you would think like, oh, I'm in Des Moines, like I'm not going to be able to see much nature. But the part I was on, and there's other parts of Des Moines too, that like you're in the trees, you're in like nature, like, and it's just, there's really lots of cool stuff to see. The Greenbelt Trail is a great one to run through. If you're going south, like the Great Western Trail, there's lots of cool places to run.
It all kind of connects up. I think eventually, like, it kind of connects to High Trestle Trail at some point.
The whole state of Iowa eventually wants to make a trail system that you could go from the western side of the state all the way to the east, all the way on trails. That has not happened yet, but I know that is a goal for the whole state of Iowa. So it's kind of cool. And yeah, there is a part of that market to market where you have to, and I think it was because of trail construction, but you do have to pick up your team and drive from a certain point to a certain point. To get back up on the trail, but you can almost run from Jefferson, Iowa to downtown Des Moines just completely on trails. It's really, really cool. And it was hot. So cool. You guys have any fun plans this weekend?
Open house.
Open house. Okay.
Be there or be square.
I think we're all doing open houses, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm going camping.
Tyler's even doing an open house. Yeah, Danielle and I will be at a Drake. There's 4 Drake homes on South Radley Street in West Des Moines from 1 to 4. Ranches, 2 stories. If you don't love that area or don't love those houses or want something different, we can help you with that, whether it's Drake homes or anything else. But if it's you love what Drake does, we'll find you the lot. We just did it for somebody in Polk City. Came through an open house. They loved that plan, didn't love the lot. We found them a different lot. Drake didn't own the lot, found the lot, and we're building. So we can help you with all that. And then besides that, I got graduation parties all weekend. All my kids' friends are graduating. So wall to wall, pretty much all weekend. So
Danny, you doing anything fun this weekend?
Besides open houses, I think we're gonna plant a lot of like flowers in my garden. So we're getting ready to do all of that. So it's gonna look super, super cute for the summer.
This is really random, but I just had someone the other day that showed me that ChatGPT, you could upload a picture of your yard. You could have ChatGPT make up different landscaping options.
I love that. I already did that.
Did you? just so you know, guys, it's pretty awesome stuff. We got one.
This weekend might be a good time too if anyone needs to overseed, like I need to still do, because I got bare spots still. So I got some lawn soil to put out. I got an aerator tool and all that. It's supposed to rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this weekend might be a good time to get that seed out, so you don't have to water it all all those days. So just
noted. I'm probably going to do that on Sunday, Andrew. Thank you for that advice.
Yep.
Also, where are you going, Thomas? Camping?
I'm going down to my dad's place in Lucas, Iowa. So
you're staying in his house?
No, we'll be outside a majority of the time. He has 11 acres. We're going to be camping
with an extension cord
by his house.
Danny,
apparently you're also going to the farm.
Like glamping.
Yeah.
It's not, well, yeah, it's kind of glamping. Yeah. We're just going to be outside.
Zach says farmer's market.
Were you aware you're going to the farmer's market this weekend?
I was. I forgot.
We went to West Des Moines farmer's market last Thursday, and it was about the best temperature. That was really fun.
I'm still a little mad you didn't tell me you were there, but that's fine.
I honked when we drove by your house.
Okay. All right. Another great episode. Thank you, everyone that watched. Thank you guys for being on. Have a great day.